there, guys. Welcome to my second video. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to look at some of the different effects that you can put on a vocal track or a voiceover in imaging production. Now, a lot of people that are new to the industry, what they'll do is they'll want to put a lot of reverb on or a lot of just a lot of heavy effects, and what you can get is a very saturated voice that doesn't sound very good as far as the end product. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple small effects. Some of them are subtle, some of them aren't as subtle, but they still sound quite good. And the three that we're going to look at, we're going to do what's called inverse masking, or reverse reverb, as some people like to call it. We're going to do a stereo split, and we're going to do one that I kind of created and worked up myself, where we do kind of like a lo-fi telephone sound audio in one channel, and in the other channel, so that would be like the right side, and in the left side, we do kind of a distortion sort of effect, and it just kind of gives the audio an interesting sound, which I kind of like in some of my imaging. So what we're going to do is we're going to do all three of these effects on the audio that we worked on in the last video, and the finished product that we had from the last video sounded like this. All I've done is I've taken it from a mono track and I've put it into a stereo track, that so we can edit it on a stereo a two-channel sort of space. So this is what it sounded like.
15 great songs in a row. Active AC on RadioKick.com.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to do most of this in multi-track view, because we're going to do each of these effects individually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the first section here, and we're going to do an inverse mask or a reverse reverb on this. So
15 great songs in a row.
So 15 great songs in a row. We're going to right-click on that, and I'm going to copy it to a new file. That's just going to create a brand new file with just that audio. Now, a reverse reverb effect is pretty cool. And what we can do is we just have to generate some silence at the beginning of the track. So we're going to do that. I'm going to generate about 4 seconds worth of silence. That's going to be too much, but I'm going to delete some eventually. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double-click to select the whole track, and I'm going to reverse the entire thing. So let's reverse the entire track. So it sounds a bit like this. And that doesn't make any sense. All we're going to do is we're going to select the last bit of the phrase, or in this case, it's the first, and it was 15 songs in a row. So I'm selecting the fifth, essentially, wow, the fifth, and it sounds like this.
Fifth.
So it's backwards. And we're going to select that, and we're also going to select the trail end of it. And what we're going to do, we're going to go effects, and we're going to go to reverb. And I use a full reverb in here. So here are the main reverb settings, with the decay time being quite high, the diffusion being quite high as well. We want the room size to be quite high. We can actually bring it down a little bit, but we do want the room size to be quite large. Now, as far as our mix goes, we want the dry voice to still be in there. So we're going to leave that at 100%. And the wet voice, or the wet, is just going to be the reverb volume in the final mix. So you guys can play with that on your own. I'm going to leave it at about 99% because it actually sounds quite good with that. And into the in the EQ, as far as it goes, I like to take the bass out of it. It just gives it a bit brighter sounding EQ and a bit brighter sounding reverb with the high pitched reverb. So we're going to generate that reverb, and we're going to hit OK on that. And it's going to just generate us a reverb. And like I said, that 4 seconds of silence is too long, so we can almost delete that there and just make sure we do a fade in. And let's reverse the audio one more time and have a listen to it. Let's have a listen.
15 great songs in a row.
So that's just a good way to get into the piece of audio. It just kind of gives it a nice
15
sort of pulls it right in, pulls you into the effect. So that's one of the things. It's subtle because we're not touching the rest of the audio. We're going to leave it as it is. So it's subtle, but it's touching the beginning. So
15 great songs in a row.
So let's throw that into our multi-track view. We can get rid of that one from the last file. Let's put this one in, right into track 1 there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our stereo track, and we're going to grab Active AC.
Active AC.
Let's grab that. Let's Do the same thing, copy to new. Now this is a stereo split. So all this one is taking the left channel and the right channel and offsetting them slightly. And it's just going to give, if you're wearing headphones right now, you will be able to tell the difference right away. Have a listen to it as it is. It's just a mono audio.
Active AC.
They're identical. All I'm going to do is select the left channel by pushing or the right channel, I should say, by pushing the down arrow. I'm going to do a Control X to copy it. I'm going to use the right arrow and tap it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It depends. You can do it as many times as you want. It'll give you a different sound if you split them too much. And I like it to be quite subtle, so I'm just going to hit this paste it into the left track, and this is what it's going to sound like.
Active AC.
So if you're wearing headphones, you might not be able to tell if you're not wearing headphones, but wearing headphones, you're going to be able to tell right away that they're offset. Because the mono audio was one channel, but they're slightly offset now.
Active AC.
So you get this nice split effect. So let's put that in now into our multi-track audio. And then the last thing we're going to do is that fun one that I mentioned that I like to do. Sorry, I wanted to mention this as well. With the stereo split, if you do go further, you get something that sounds like this.
Active AC.
Which sounds fine as well. It's just your preference. It just depends on as well as what you're mixing it with. Different beds, different music, different pace, different tempo. It's going to sound different each time. So you're just going to want to play it by ear. That one what we had before, I just did some undos there. It was fine.
Active AC.
Right there with the stereo split. All right, so let's do the last one here, which is going to be this on radiokick.com.
On radiokick.com.
So let's copy that to a new file with a right click. And we're going to do our little lo-fi telephone thing on our right channel. So let's do that. Let's, again, select the whole thing by double-clicking. Arrow key down to select just the right channel. And we'll go to Effects and Filter. And bring up our favorite FFT filter one more time. Now, there's a preset in Audition which is called Telephone Receiver, which works quite nicely. And as you can see, it just leaves a little bit in the mid and high there. It cuts everything out below and slowly fades it out into the mids and the lows. So you can have a listen. It sounds like this.
On radiokick.com.
I'll turn it up a bit.
On radiokick.com.
All right, so it's gotten quite quiet. So first thing we're going to do is normalize that. So amplitude and compression under effects and normalize to 100%.
On radiokick.com.
So that's going to bring that up. So now we have one side of the audio is going to be perfectly fine how we had it before, slightly filtered. The other side is going to be a telephone filter.
On radiokick.com.
So that kind of sounds funky as it is, but the next thing we're going to do is going to select all again, and we're going to go to the left channel this time, go up. And then we'll hit Effects, and sorry, where are we? We want to go to Special and Distortion, and we're just going to add a very slight distortion to it. So I actually don't even know how to use this tool. I just play around with it and use the preview mode.
On radiokick.com. On radiokick.com.
That's actually almost not that too much. Let's bring it down. Just want to go with a subtle distortion, not too much.
On radiokick.com.
That's too little. Let's do one more time. Get right in here.
And
a little bit less. You could play with this for hours. You just have to kind of decide.
On radiokick.com.
I think that sounds all right there. So let's okay that. It's going to just add a slight distortion, and let's listen to it.
On radiokick.com. On radiokick.com.
Perfect. And let's just add that into our running total. So, if we were producing a sweeper or kind of a, something you could play over top of an intro to a song, it would sound like this.
15 great songs in a row. Active AC on radiokick.com.
So there's 3 little effects that we can kind of throw in there. Now we had Neon Trees Animal in before, so let's do that as well and preview it. I'm also going to add to our multi-track just that broadcast compressor that we had before. I'm going to add that to the master on the that we had the previous video. It's the multi-band compressor broadcast plugin. It's just a nice little plugin so we can hear kind of what everything would sound like on the end when it's all processed to the end user and it's being played over top of a song. So I'm just going to cross-fade these over a little bit so they flow a bit nicer. Let's zoom in right like that. And let's have a listen to how this sounds over top to the intro to a song.
15 great songs in a row. Active AC on RadioKick.com.
And there's some effects that you can do and add to some vocals with your production. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.